When we first start out, it can be really hard to fret chords, especially the common chords that usually use at least 3 fingers, like these ones. One way to approach this at first is to start with simpler versions of these shapes that only use 1 or 2 fingers. Let's check out a few of these. You can play a C chord with just 1 finger. Looks like this. All you have to do is put your index finger on the first fret of the B string, that's the 2nd string here, and play 3 strings, strum 3 strings from the G, B, and high E. Very simple chord. You can also play a 1-finger G. Add your ring finger to the 3rd fret of the high E string, and then strum the same strings. You can play an E minor with 0 fingers, just those 3 strings, G, B, and high E. You can use that for an E minor chord. You could play a 2-finger A major chord. It would look like this. We're on the same strings here. Middle finger goes down on 2nd fret of G. Ring finger goes down on 2nd fret of the B string. And those same 3 strings. Now, if you like, you could use index and middle instead. Okay, you could also do an A minor. You just have to take that 2nd fret of the B string and move it down 1. Okay, so middle and ring are there. And that's how you get an A minor. Now, for a D chord, sometimes it can be really hard to play this 3-finger D chord. So we forego that high E string and we just play index on 2nd fret of the G string, ring finger 3rd fret of B, and just play 3 strings D, G, and B. Or the number for those would be the 4th string, 3rd, and the 2nd string. Okay, now here's a way that you can play an E chord with just 2 fingers. Now normally you would play all 6 strings like this. This might be too difficult at first, so let's try 2 fingers. We're gonna take our middle finger to the 2nd fret of the D string, index on 1st fret of G. This time we get to strum 4 strings from the D string all the way down. It's a great way to play an E chord. Okay, let's check out a B7. Now, B7 is always one of the hardest chords to learn as a beginner because to play the full version, you have to use all 4 fingers. But there's a way that we can just use 2 fingers. So I want you to take your index to the 1st fret of the D string, and then your ring finger to the 2nd fret of the G string, and just play 3 strings. So the D string, the G string, and the B string. Or number-wise, we get the 4th string, 3rd, and 2nd. There's a whole bunch of these that are super useful and a lot easier to play. Now, one thing to think about when playing smaller shapes, you want to be aware of the correct strings to strum. Because you're fretting on fewer strings, there will be more open strings that may not fit the chord and can easily ring out. We want to avoid this as much as possible. So for example, if you're playing that C chord, you want to avoid A, D, and low E. It's not going to sound great if you hit all those strings. Same for all of those that lie on G, B, and high E. Just aim for those 3 strings only, maybe even aim for those 2 strings, the B and the high E, and then consequently you'll probably hit that G string as well. Okay, and then for some of those that are on the other strings, like this D chord, maybe aim for the G string here. For the D chord, the E chord, and that B7 chord. You're really gonna wanna have a small sweep. Now for more in-depth guitar tricks tutorials on chord shapes just like these, make sure and check out Simple Chords. This is from the Fundamentals Core Learning System. Also check out your first simple chords, C and G, all on the Guitar Tricks platform. To find more in-depth lessons on complete beginner to advanced guitar learning, click the link in the description below for a free ultimate beginner guide that includes an essential chord chart, a practice plan, a walkthrough of some beginner pitfalls to avoid, and a whole lot more. Now back to the lesson. Next, sometimes as beginners we spend a little too much time on our fret hand, forgetting that we need to have a solid rhythm hand to generate the sound and play in time. For this, we study the absolute basics: whole, half, and quarter note down strumming. Okay, now to do this effectively, one thing you can do is start with open strings like this. Or if that gets a little tiring on your ear, you can use muted strings. Okay, now to have an effective mute, you want to take your fret hand fingers, lay them flat across the string. Don't squeeze, otherwise you're going to get some fretted notes, but just lay them really gently on the strings so you mute the sound. Okay, then from there, try those rhythms whole, half, and quarter. If you can count aloud, even better. Let's try whole notes. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half notes. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when we're practicing, it's always a great idea to add in a metronome. So start at a slow tempo, maybe around 60 or 70, and try these rhythms out. From here, add a chord. Take one of those smaller chords that we learned, maybe the small E shape. Do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half notes. 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes. 2, 3, 4. From there, you could add two chords, maybe E and A. 1, 2, 3 to A. 1, 2, 3. Half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once you have this at a slower tempo, start to bring up the tempo and practice your chord switching while you're at it. A great lesson to check out on the Guitar Tricks website is basic rhythmic subdivisions. From here, a great thing to work on are simple melodies. Simple open position melodies based on the G and C major scales are a great place to start. Also focusing on the scale on the three strings here, G, B, and E. So G major, you can play it really nicely right there. You can play the C major scale here. Great scales to start with. Now for scales, make sure and check out this lesson. One scale, thousands of melodies. It's amazing what you can do with just a few notes. After you have spent some time with these basics, you should have a few calluses on your fingers and more of an understanding of how to add and play larger shapes, more advanced rhythms, and how to build melodies from other scales and also perhaps by ear. Just remember that progress takes time, especially with the guitar. Focus on small wins and keep your practice consistent from day to day. It's definitely a long game. Now also, keep learning new things and challenging yourself. And be sure to enter your email for a free beginner guitar guide linked in the description, or you can find it right here on the next screen. All right, see you next time.